Hello, everybody. Happy New Year and welcome to our very first Cheapskates Club show for 2020. I'm so glad to be back. I really missed you guys. And there's so many of you waiting too. So, hello, Roz. Hello, Lorraine, Michelle, Margarita, Anne, Paula, Beryl. Hello, and Lynette. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for coming and joining me tonight. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas and a really nice break. We had a beautiful Christmas. It was really quiet, really calm, really peaceful, absolutely divine. It was just us, and it was so easy. Normally we have a rather traditional Christmas with the roast and the veggies and the pudding and things. But this year, because we didn't have the ovens and because it had been quite hot in the lead up to Christmas, I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. So we had cold chicken, we had the ham for those that wanted it. I made coleslaw and potato salad and pasta salad, and we had deviled eggs and all sorts of yummy salad bits and bobs. And I just put it all out on the table and everybody just helped themselves. And for dessert, even though I had a plum pudding and it was so hot, we just didn't bother with it because Wayne and I are really the only ones that eat it. So it's still there for us for later. I had a chocolate exploding something or other that I bought, and it was exciting for a one-off thing. I don't think I'd buy it again. It was really rich, really, really rich. Even my sweet tooth husband didn't go back for seconds of it, but we had that with ice cream, and then we all just vegged out for the afternoon, and everybody had the leftovers out of the fridge as they wanted them for tea, and it was such a beautiful day, so calm, so peaceful, and it was just lovely, really, really good. So I hope you had a really nice day too, whatever you did, wherever you were, however you celebrated. I hope you had the same peace and joy that we had. It was beautiful. And honestly, I love Christmas. I love the decorating and the cooking and the setting the table and having everyone together. So this was the first time in our coming up 31 years of marriage that we'd never had a big family Christmas with either my family or Wayne's family or a whole bunch of ring-ins. It was just the five of us, and it was just so good. I might do this again. It was really nice. So anyway, let's see, who am I catching up with? Hannah has gone out, so it's just me tonight. So I won't be getting out of the corner of my eye from over there, and you probably won't hear any shuffling unless it's me shuffling with notes and stuff, because I do have some for us. So let's see, we've got to Paula, Beryl, Lynette, Joe, Priya, Sarah, Leonie. Hi, Pam. Hello, Tracy. Hi, Barb. So I'm so glad you could join us. And I hope you had a lovely New Year's too. Again, really quiet. I was in bed. In fact, I was ready to go to bed at 6:30, and Thomas just said, that's just ridiculous. Just totally, even for a normal night, that's just ridiculous. I was exhausted because on last Sunday, I was lying on our bed, having a nice, peaceful little sleep, and we're actually lying on our bed under the fan, trying to keep a bit cool, and I felt something bite me, and I didn't really think much of it, just shook my foot. Anyway, I got 2 more bites, and when I looked down, my foot had started to blow up and up and up, and it was getting redder and redder and redder. I thought, uh-oh. So I hobbled out to the lounge room, and Wayne had a look at it, and Hannah had a look at it, and Wayne tried to ring our doctor, and they weren't, because it was Sunday, they closed early. We were like 5 minutes too late. So it rang the hospital, and they went, oh, you better come up. So off we trot to the hospital. And I wasn't looking forward to it because I thought, oh, my gosh, we're going to have to sit in emergency for hours because it's just a bite of some kind. You know, there's going to be sicker people than me there, and I'll be there forever. Anyway, we got there, and there's only one other person in front of us. They were really quiet. I don't think I've been in an emergency department that quiet ever. It was just really quiet. So we're sort of by the time I'd taken my details and we'd sat down, we're just about in. And I got an antihistamine to try and take there was no itch, but try and take the swelling down. Then that didn't work. So then it was really painful, folks. Don't get bitten by a spider on your foot. It hurts. So then I got some Nurofen. No, that didn't help. So by then the doctor's come and he's gone, well, that's not really going to work, because as it turned out, this doctor was just a lovely man. And one of his specialties and one of his interests is spider bites in Victoria. So Victorian spiders, and how different people react to them. So he was really interested in wanting to know, did we find the spider? Did I see it? Because he said it was definitely a spider bite, not just one of the nurses said, oh, it might be one of those jumping jack ants. Not in my bed. Well, I'm not keen on spiders in the bed either. But anyway, so I was there for a while, and they gave me some more painkillers and some ice, put my foot up, and kept coming to check on me to make sure it was okay. And it was fine. I just was able to come home after a few hours and go to bed. I didn't sleep very well because every time I moved, the sheet would rub over the top of it and it was sort of hurt. It felt like, when you get a bit of broken glass or something, just a tiny thistle or something like that in your finger, you know it's there, but you can't get it out. And if you touch it, it hurts, but if you leave it alone, it's fine. That's what it felt like. So I had to stay off it for, he said, 7 to 10 days. There's no way I can stay off my feet for 7 to 10 days. That's not going to work. So I hobbled around on Monday, took it easy. Tuesday I hobbled around and did a bit more. Yesterday I'm fine. I have to watch, and he said it could take anything up to 2 to 3 days for signs of infection. Wow. Or up to a week. So depending on what it was that bit me. So I have to keep an eye on it. But at the moment it's fine. And I can finally get shoes on today. So that was help, because otherwise it's been quite painful. All right. So hello, Julie. Hello, Tam. Len, Leah. Hi, Maureen. Okay, so before we get started, Boxing Day sales, folks. Bit of a fizzer for me this year, although we did get up and we went like we always do. I don't think I bought anything that I had been looking for. There just didn't seem to be anything I wanted. Hannah didn't really get anything. They just, the offerings weren't that good, I felt, this year. We actually went to Eastland in Ringwood. So we checked out Kmart, Big W, Harris Scarf, H&M. We skipped David Jones and Target. And we did a quick squeeze around Coles. And then we came home. So we were home in under 2 hours, which was really good. And the shopping centre was really empty. Even when we were leaving, it was really empty. There weren't a lot of people there at 9 o'clock in the morning, I can assure you. So maybe it got busier in the day. But anyway, we didn't have much luck. But Hannah went to Knox, to the reject shop this morning. And oh my giddy aunt, did she was so excited. She got such deals. She spent $14.10 and saved $128.50. Woohoo! I'll show you what she got. Everything she got was 50 cents. So she had 2 packets of these bows. Now these were marked at $2.50 a packet, 50 cents. And these are the colours that we used this year, the muted green and gold, and we had white. These are silver, but they'll do. So that was really good. Sorry for the crackling. Then the cookie boxes that we were talking about. So these were $3 a packet, marked down to 50 cents. And she got 7 of these, 7 of those. So that's our edible gift packaging for next year, done and dusted. Then she got, for our card making, because we do our Christmas cards, but we do charity cards too through the year. So these stickers, these poinsettia stickers, she got these for 50 cents a pack, and they are normally $2.50. And she got heaps of these. How many did she end up getting? 16 packs of those for 50 cents a pack. And then I have to stand up for this, folks, so just excuse me just one moment. Let me reach across here, get those. These Christmas crackers. Now, can you see them? Such pretty colours. Oh my gosh. Soft pink, silver and blue. Really lovely. $15. $15 down to 50 cents. So she picked up 2 lots of the pink and blue and 2 lots of the more traditional gold and silver. So then the debate was, when she brought them home, which is really funny, the pastel pink and blue aren't really colours that we have in decorations, but I've been thinking about it. We do have silver. I do have some blue decorations, but they're a darker blue. So the light blue will go with the dark blue. The pink will blend in with the light blue, and the silver will be right. So next year we might do a pink and blue Christmas. But that's probably the sum total of our Boxing Day sale spending. We tried Spotlight for fabric. It was really disappointing. There was nothing new that we hadn't seen or didn't have, and it wasn't marked down a terrible lot. Even at Lincraft, the fabric wasn't marked down a lot. Kmart was dismal. I don't know. I think that the stores, our Boxing Day sale seems to have been overrun with Black Friday. And what is it? Cyber Monday, Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Seriously, folks, we're Australians. We shop for our bargains on Boxing Day. We don't do this. We don't have Thanksgiving, so we don't have Black Friday. We don't, Cyber Monday is something they brought in when online shopping became popular. So maybe we can do online shopping sales. But seriously, I used to plan all year for Boxing Day sales, and I would have a list of not just the Christmas things that I wanted, but you would find linen on sale, toiletries, makeup, shoes. You get really good bargains on household items. Well, that seems to have gone by the way, and I'm really disappointed with that. I would much rather, do Boxing Day than some random Friday in November. Anyway, off my hobby horse now, on my soapbox, whatever it is. Who else has joined us? Hello, Gina. David Jones, yes. Tamara. DJs, I used to always say they only had, David Jones has a January sale and a June, July sale, their mid-year sale. And I used to tell people, if it was a sale at David Jones, it was a genuine sale. They didn't bump the prices up, then drop them down to make it look like they were on sale. It was a genuine sale. And I used to do a lot of shopping for gifts, wedding gifts, special birthday gifts, that sort of thing, at David Jones on their Boxing Day and mid-year sales. They're really good. So what did Beryl get? She wanted a mattress. Did you get it? Oh, click and collect. Yes, perfect. Maureen. Yeah. Maureen, I saw that you got some discounts on Boxing Day too. These ones are better. Hey, can't go past 50 cents. Wow. Tracy, that was a great deal on the finish. Yeah. Yeah, Priya. It was really hard to spend my money this year. And the sad thing was I actually had money to spend. I've kept it. Something will come up through the year, I'm sure, and I'll be able to take advantage of it and spend it. Now, if I sound a bit different tonight, we're trying a new microphone that I was given, the boys gave it to me for Christmas. So this is my first time trying it live. Let's hope it's, when I listen to the replay, who knows what It's got a little light flickering at me. Who knows what I'll sound like? But anyway, so there you go. We're back to 2020. We've done nearly a year of YouTube live shows. There's 80 videos we've posted in the last year. Wow. That many. It would have been more if we hadn't lost the internet for that couple of weeks and had a few hiccups along the way. So that's huge. We have 1,550 something subscribers. Really great. So I'm really pleased about that. If you aren't subscribed to us, please do. There's a subscribe button down there. Just click it. And if you click the little bell next to it, then you'll be notified every time there's a new video uploaded or every time I go live, and you won't miss out. Okay. Christmas ribbon at Spotlight for $1 a reel. Wow, great deal on the dress, Barb. Well done. That's a 66% discount. Excuse me, folks. Wow. So, start of a new year. You may have noticed there's been a few changes on the website. Just little tiny things. You may not have picked up on them yet. We have some new moderators for our forum, which is really nice. We have a few new topics in our forum. One that's new this year is the $5 pantry challenge. Another one is the card a day challenge. That was my bright idea. And I'll be honest and say, so far, I'm a card a day every day. As Hannah said, it's only day 2 and I shouldn't be boasting, but hey, it was my idea. I've done 2 cards. I did a card yesterday, a card today, posted the pictures in the forum, so they're there. We've got the 2020 decluttering challenge going on, and Tamara from the Depressed Caravan is the moderator for that challenge. Really good. We have our mood challenge that's going on with Joy of Quilting is doing that for us. Barb has kindly offered to moderate craft forums. So many new things happening over in the forum. I'm really blown away, which is really nice. So if you haven't logged into them for a while, do and catch up. There's lots of really good stuff in there. What else can I tell you? Just before we start talking about budgeting, because once I start on that, I just won't be able to stop myself. Can't think of anything else. But anyway, let's get to the topic at hand. It's a new year, so we're going to work on a new budget. Now, I've got my notes here, folks. We work on a January-December budget. It suits me better. Financial year budgets are for business. Doesn't work for me. I'm I don't know what I am, but it just seems wrong to do the household budget on the financial year. So we do it January, December. Works fine for us. Over the years, we've had some interesting budgets. We've had some that have just been scribbled down the notebook, literally scribbled in the notebook. We've had some that have been fancy spreadsheets that have been color-coded and tabbed and all sorts of things. We've had a ledger book that I've handwritten in. That worked really well. I like the old-fashioned way of doing things. It helps to make me accountable, and it helps to reinforce it in my mind. If I'm writing it and thinking about it, it's really good for me to retain that knowledge. We've had some that have been so complicated that I didn't last more than a couple of months with them, and we've had some super simple ones, and it's the super simple ones that work the best for me. And I think for most of us, keeping it simple, which does not mean keeping it slack, keeping it simple works best. We're all time poor. We all have other things that we want to be doing. We've all got different things that need our attention. So keeping our budget and our finances simple makes them doable, but it also makes them fun, because there's not, it's not going to be a drag. You can zoom in once a week, tally up your book, your spending book, move it over, work out your bills that have been paid, jot it down, it's done. And it should be done in under 10 minutes. so that at the end of the year, you roll over and you go, woohoo, budget balances, hopefully. So keeping it simple is really important. As well as keeping it accurate. Now, simple and accurate might seem different to you. Accurate might seem a bit like it needs to be complicated. It doesn't need to be. So there's a few things that you can do to get your budget flowing for the start of the year. Now, if you've signed up for the Saving Revolution, you've already had your first lesson. It's asking some interesting questions about your attitude to money, how you learnt about money, how you deal with money. So don't be tempted to skip them, because that will give you an insight into your attitude toward your budget. So don't be tempted to skip them. And if you have any questions about those, log into the forum and go to the Saving Revolution Lesson 1 week and ask your questions. We'll see if we can answer them. Now, to keep your budget simple, on our tip sheets page under the tools and guides, there is a thing called Simple Budget. Pretty basic. It's incomings, less outgoings. Can't get much simpler than that. It's broad, very broad subjects, topics. So incomings would be wages, salary. If you have family tax allowance, anything like that, that's an incoming. This is about to confuse you. Sorry, and I was about to say keep it simple. But in your incomings, what you include incomings in your budget should only be the money that you use to run your household. So, for instance, if you have shares invested and you reinvest the interest on those shares, don't include that interest in your incomings for your budget. Pretend you don't get it, because you don't actually see it. It's reinvested into your shares. The same with board. Children, adult children or boarders or whatever that pay board, if you don't use that money as a part of your household budget, if it's not put into your general account to pay the bills and buy the groceries and whatever, then don't include that income in your budget income. Put it in a separate account. So if you are one of the people that gets the board money from the kids and you siphon it straight off into a holiday fund or to pay down debt or to build savings or an emergency fund, don't include it in your working income. Just include the money that you actually use to run your household and run your budget. Now, the sheet's really simple. Once you've done your income, total it up, however much it is for the week. It depends how you get paid, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, and you should be able to calculate a rough yearly amount. Slow down, Kat. Told you I like this. Then you've got your outgoings. So remember the 10-10-80 rule? We save 10%, we give 10%, we live off 80%. So to get that 80%, divide your total by 10, multiply by 8. That will be the 80% that you live off. Then you can just split the other money down the middle and you give 10%, and straight away you're filtering off 10% into your savings or your emergency fund. With the 80% that's left, that's when you go and you work out your expenses. Now, we all have some expenses that are static that we can't really change. So static expenses would be things like council rates. They're never going to, we cannot haggle over those. They just won't. Trust me, I've tried. They won't haggle over them. Your rent or mortgage is generally fixed for a period of time. Loan repayments, you might be able to have a bit of a niggle with them, but don't count on it. So count them as static. Then there's the expenses that you have a bit of wriggle room with, and they're things like your gas, your electricity, your water, your phone bill. Although most phone plans these days are all inclusive, but some aren't. What have I got? Gas, electricity, water, phone bill, your food, your fuel costs, registration, insurance, those sorts of things. They can be flexible because you can actually do something about getting a cheaper rate, using less of them so that the bill comes down, that sort of thing. So they're your flexible expenses. Work on your fixed expenses first. They're the ones you can't do anything about, and they're usually the things that are most important that you need to pay without fail. Anything else you can sort of probably do without or find an alternative to. So jiggle around with them. All right, now, can't see, still need new glasses. All right, with your 10% for giving, it's make sure it goes to your favourite charity or to your church or whatever, but don't hang on to it. Get rid of it so you're not tempted to spend it. Remember, you're doing this almost as a sign of faith. You're doing it as a sign of faith that you're going to, what goes around comes around, or whatever you believe, but you're going to give. So set up a direct deposit to your favourite charity or to your church or whatever it is, and make sure that 10% goes automatically so that you don't see it, and don't hang on to it. Get rid of it, pass it on straight away. Pay it forward, let someone else have the joy of it. Right, now, and then same thing, with your savings. Set it up so it goes automatically to your savings, your emergency fund, whatever, for that 10%. Then they're done, and you don't see it, you don't miss it. You don't need it. You'll manage very well on your 80% of what you've got left. So you're going to know that your basics are covered. You've got your accommodation covered. You'll have food covered. You'll have the important things covered. Then you've got the flexible things like clothing, entertainment, holidays, as in trips and things like that, crafts and hobbies, all those sorts of things. So they will come out of your 80%. Easy. That's what they come out of. The grocery budget should be the last thing on that list that you allow money for. And that might seem weird because you do have to eat, but your grocery budget is the only component of your overall budget that you have complete and utter control over. You choose what you buy, where you buy it, how often you buy it, how much you buy, and how much you pay for everything that you put in your grocery trolley. So you have complete and utter control over that. So if you've worked out your budget and done your calculations and you've only got $50 a week left, then you are going to make it fit. Make that $50 a week fit in your budget and feed your family. You can do it. Trust me, you can do it. Alrighty. We don't need new glasses, folks. Okay. Right. So who we got? All right. We're back. Hello, Meryl. Sarah's here. Veronica and Darian. Cool. Okay. Welcome, folks. I'll keep going off so that I can see you and read to you. So, if you've got your Cheapskates planner, you'll see in the front of it, there is a yearly budget that you can work out. Actually, it's monthly, but anyway, and it will give you, it's a very, very broad, but it will give you an idea. And it's done month by month. So you've got You can't see, I've started to fill it out. Got January, February, March, April, and each one has whatever the expense is, what you expect it to be, and what the actual is. So, for example, I've got our electricity. I expect it to be $200. Yeah, I know it's exorbitant, but it is what it is. $200. The actual will hopefully come in at less than that, which will mean I'll have a $20 surplus in my electricity category on my budget, but that's fine because I'm going to leave it there. I'm not taking it out. I roll it over. Any surplus I roll over, and at the end of each year, if there's a surplus, that's taken out and put into our savings or emergency fund, whatever I want to build, and I start from zero at the beginning of the next year. So we don't spend any surplus through the year. We just roll it over and roll it over, because who knows, all of a sudden I might have a surplus this month, but next month, for whatever reason, we might use more in electricity, and I'll need that surplus to make up the difference. So okay. Did you register, Veronica? If you registered, you would have got it. If you didn't register, then you won't get them. For the Saving Revolution folks, you had to register. I put it on in the newsletters. I had it in the forum. I had it on the website. It was all over Cheapskates Chatter. You had to register. It didn't automatically roll over. You have to register. It is a new savings for Savings Revolution. You had to register. If you didn't register, then no, you won't get the lessons. And if you did register and you haven't got it, check your spam folder. So there we go. All right, so that's that. So for January, I've included expenses such as electricity, gas, the phone and internet, because we bundle those, water, fuel, and food, because they're the basic expenses I'm expecting to come out of my household money this month. So there's things that we have like our insurances and stuff. They just roll over each month. There we go. So I've got those written. When the bills come in, I'll just write what the actual is, and then I'll make a note of whether I have an excess or not. Hopefully I'll have an excess. I do like those credits. You'll also have a weekly budget. Where is it? There's my first week's budget. I've got my shopping list there. Your weekly budget, which also helps break things down for you. And again, it's really simple. It's income, less expenses. So, you add up your income, add up your expenses, take your expenses from your income. Hopefully you're in surplus. If you're not, then you're going to have to do some serious looking at what you've overspent in, and that might mean you have to go back to tracking your spending. And if you've got to go back to the beginning and track your spending, do it. It's not a bad thing to do as a general rule anyway, just so you know where your money goes. If you ever wake up in the middle of the night and think, sure, I had $50 in my purse and I just don't have it anymore and I wonder where it went, think. You don't have to think. If you've tracked expenses, or your spending, you know where it's gone. You can look at your little notes and see where it's gone. I know that you bought rabbit food and you paid cash for a school excursion and yada, 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 and get it straight in your mind. It's much easier that way. All right. All right. Okay, Anne. Today she rang her house and contents insurance, and with small changes she saved $110. Woohoo! Very good. Hi, Kerry. Kerry runs a fortnightly budget. That works. If you get paid weekly, run a weekly budget. If you get paid fortnightly, run a fortnightly budget. If you get paid bi-monthly, Slightly more confusing, but do a bi-monthly budget. Get paid monthly, monthly budget. Run your budget according to how you get paid. It just makes it simpler, and simple is good when it comes to budgeting. So well done, Tamara, for tracking spending. It's a really big thing. It's really easy to spend without thinking. Mindless spending, and we've talked about this before, it just happens. Now, this wasn't actually mindless spending, but it's really bugged me. It really, really bugged me. 3 times in the last, since Christmas Eve, 3 times since Christmas Eve, I've had a trolley and put $1 in the trolley. And each time I've taken it back, I've not been able to get my $1 back. It was at the same shopping centre each time, and it really, really bugged me to the point where I sort of put a snarky, I know you find it hard to believe that I would be snarky, but I sort of put a snarky message on their Facebook page about getting their trolleys fixed so that I don't, with that $3 extra it's cost me to shop at that shopping centre in just over a week. $3 is a bottle of milk. It's 3 litres of milk. Hello? That's a big chunk out of my grocery budget. I don't particularly want to donate it to the supermarket or whoever comes along after me and finds a free trolley. And I usually use the same dollar because I just put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out, and it lives in a little section of my purse. So I'm always there. I tried the trolley token thing. They're a nuisance. They get lost. They were too small. I didn't like them. So if I have a coin, it doesn't matter where I go. I can always use a trolley. But 3 times, $3 in just over a week, it's cost me to use trolleys at this particular shopping centre. So I won't be using trolleys anymore. I will be taking the boys with me and they can carry the bags. I've already decided. So Kerry did a huge shop today, stocked up for the month, cleaned out the fridge, any saved veggies went into the stock pot. Well done. Do you know, I think I mentioned this somewhere. While I was out today, the kids took me out. And while I was out, we were looking at a butcher that had all these really yummy things. How much do you think they were selling steak for at this butcher? Just steak. It didn't look any different to what I buy from Australian butcher. $59.99 a kilo. A kilo, folks, not the whole cow. A kilo. $60 a kilo for this steak. And then I looked over and they had chicken carcasses. They were chicken frames. So, it's just the bones. $2 each. And I looked at them. They were just the bones. There was not even a hint of any, not even sinew left on those carcasses. They were picked clean. $2 each. I used to get 5 for $1. Chicken frames, 5 chicken frames for $1. I would boil them up. There would be enough meat on them to make chicken soup, and then I'd compost the bones in the bokashi and use this as stock. Oh my gosh, I could not believe it. Wow. So if steak's going to be $60 a kilo, we are never going to eat it. I think even if I could afford that, I wouldn't do it on principle. That is an outrageous price. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, well, so vegetarian food, if you buy it, isn't that much cheaper than meat. To buy the prepaid patties and sausages and stuff, and that mince they're selling at Coles at the moment looks really quite isn't any cheaper than meat. So unless you actually make your own vegetarian products and use, strictly vegetables and grains and nuts, then really not much cheaper. I was a bit perturbed about that because I grew up with mostly vegetarian food and I love vegetarian meals, but apart from the fact that I don't know what half this stuff is because I didn't have it when we were growing up, and I'm not going to try it because it's really expensive. I think, wow, it's going to add to the grocery budget. Yeah. All right. Yes, Barb, I can. All right. So thank you, Lorraine. I've seen that about the trolley. Trolley token. I do have an Aldi trolley token. It's easy to remove. Cool. Okay, I'll try that. I do have an Aldi trolley token. Right, now, where are we up to? Okay. One important thing with your budget, whether it's a complicated budget or a simple budget, is to allocate some fun money. Give yourself some fun money. Now, even if it's just $2.50 a week or enough to buy a cup of coffee or a can of soft drink or whatever, just give yourself some fun money that is yours and yours alone, that you don't need to account to anyone for. You can save it up and splurge it on something big, or you can fritter it away on nothing. It's entirely up to you. But give yourself some fun money. Give your husband, your partner, your spouse, whatever, your significant other, give them some fun money too. And same deal. That you don't have to account for it. It's not coming. It's yours to do whatever you want with. And I think that's really important so that you don't feel deprived. I've never really felt deprived, even when we were on a really tight budget. We were getting $300 a week. We were paying $180 of that in our mortgage. It was tough, but I didn't feel deprived. But I still had, I think it was only $3. I had $3 a fortnight that was mine, but that $3 a fortnight back then was enough to buy me a cup of coffee and a piece of cake. So I could go into town once a fortnight and meet Wayne's auntie, and we would sit down and have coffee and cake in a little cafe that we liked. And it was just something I could do. And I didn't have to worry that it was going to leave another category short. I didn't have to worry that Wayne would be cross with me because I'd spent money on something that was frivolous. He didn't have to worry that he spent money on something that was frivolous if he used his money for train bits or whatever. It was ours to do what we wanted with. And I think that's really important, because if you're living on a budget, whether it's a tight budget or a really generous budget, if you're living on that budget, you're still conscious that it's there, that the guidelines are there, the parameters are there. So you're conscious of them, and you can often get that poor me, or I'm so sad because I can't do this, and feel deprived, and that attitude that comes from not having something of your own, of having money of your own. So it's really important that you give yourself some fun money to do something with. How much is up to you and whoever else is in the budgeting with you, but allocate something out of your living expenses and make sure that you do, this is really important, you do give yourself that money regularly so that you can know that you've got something that's yours all the time. $30 to the water bottle. Woohoo! Hi, Jules. All right. Okay. Kerry mentioned $30 to the water bottle. Hannah opened her water bottle, and she opened her big money box. And on Monday, I had to help her take it to the bank, to the counting machine. because it was too heavy. The coins were too heavy for both. We had to split it between us. So we did that. And, oh, dear. So we took it off to the bank, to the coin counting machine, and took ages to count it all. And then she had her bottle with the notes in it, the $5 notes in it. So she counted all that up, and she boosted her savings by $2,638 that she'd saved in the year just by putting her $5 notes in a Coke bottle, and whatever loose change she has at the end of the day goes into the money box. Oh, wow. Hit her up for a loan. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Well done, Maureen. Look, guys, she is so, I wish she was here. She'd just be, you wouldn't see her, but she'd have this big grin on her face. She's so excited. And someone mentioned on the Cheapskates chatter page that they'd started the $5 notes in the bottle already, and they put a few in already. And she was just so excited to think that they would do that too. Someone would do that too. But I think that's a really easy way to save. And I think the best part is it's easy to do. Like put your change in the money box or your $5 notes in the bottle. And if you keep it close by, if you absolutely, really and truly, absolutely have a disaster and need that money, it's there for you. So it's not like it's locked away. It's not like it's been spent on fripperies and is gone to nothing. So it's a really handy thing that she does all the time. She's always had the big tin. She went before the end of the year and bought her other big tin, her big round tinny money box thing from the reject shop. I think that cost about $5 for this great big tin. And she has it in her room, and if she comes in of a night and you hear her going clunk, 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 whatever change she's got goes in the tin. And then she's got a Coke bottle or a Pepsi bottle or whatever it is for her $5 notes. Yeah. So yeah, she's doing a really good job. She's actually a very good little budgeter. Must take after her mother. Trained her well. All right, so 10, 10, 80. You live on 80. You're going to give yourself some money. It's really important, but keep your budget as simple as you can so that it's not overwhelming. If you really like facts and figures and columns and pie charts and percentages and graphs and things and pretty colours, once you've got your budget up and working, give it 6 months, then you can make it slightly more complicated and throw in a few extra colours and a few extra columns and subcategories and stuff. And once you've got that down pat, then you can make it more detailed if you really want to. But keeping it simple and basic to get you started at the start of a new year and get you back on track so you control that money is really important, so that you'll stick to it. Because at the end of the year, I want you, come the 31st of December 2020, to have been able to stick to your budget for a whole year. Now, just remember, just because you're doing it now in January doesn't mean it won't change, because it will. Budgets are fluid. They're not set in cement. They're supposed to change. They change with your lifestyle. They change with your needs. They change with your income, your outgoings. So they do change. But you'll start with January, you'll work your way through, and at the end of the year, you'll be able to say, I've done it. I've stuck to my budget. I've done it. Now we can start 2021, and we have control of our money. All right. Wow, Kerry. Hannah's jar. That's really cute, Meryl. She will like that. Kerry, is that one of those great big 20-litre water bottle thingies that would hold megabucks. Goodness. Okay. Right. One other thing you can do to keep your budgeting simple is automate. Automate, automate, automate. Automate your bill paying, automate your savings, automate your transfers to your everyday account, your grocery fund, whatever. Automate as much as you can. It took me a long time to become a fan of online banking, a long, long time to become a fan of online banking, because I like to be in control. I like to know, but I am in control. And so I have our account set up, and we have the gas, the electricity, the water, all the regular, the phone, all those regular bills that come in. But with the periodical bills like the gas, the electricity, and the water, I pay those I have their account set up. They get transferred in every week. So when a bill comes in, it gets paid and it's done automatically. I don't even have to think about it. The money is there and it goes. At the end of the month or the quarter or whatever, I will check to see how much the bill was and compare it against the last bill and the one for that same time last year. Make sure we're on track to keep it either the same or less. And I don't have to worry that it's not going to be paid, because the money's there. It's just set up to go every Monday morning. I do it on Monday. It just gets flipped over into the accounts, comes out of the general account into those accounts, into the bill account, and it's done. I automate it, and then I don't have to worry about it, and I'm not stressing about it. I'm also not trying to keep track of a paper bill, which is really good. And I don't have the cost of a paper bill, because paper bills cost money these days. I think $3.50 one. I was one of Mum's, and she was still getting paper bills because she was elderly and she liked paper bills. And one of her bills, I think one of them was $3.50. They were charging her every month just to send a paper bill. So, a bit peeved about that, but they do it. So if you can get them sent, get your bills electronically and set up the automatic payment. Again, you've simplified your budget. It's almost mindless. It makes it easy for you to do. Yeah. We're fine, thank you, Kerry. We have a bit of bush behind us. It's narrow but long because it goes for miles. We have had a couple of fires, a couple of scares with fires since we've been here in that bush, but nothing this summer, thank goodness. We do have some Cheapskates Club members that have been affected by the fires in Gippsland and in New South Wales and North New South Wales. And I've sort of been keeping in touch with them as best I can to make sure all is okay and well. So far, they have all kept their homes. Their homes have all been all safe at the moment. But bushfire is an awful thing to go through. Any sort of fire is an awful thing to go through, but a bushfire is really traumatic. And I guess the results won't come for a long time. So we just keep those people in our thoughts. I'll keep tracking them as best I can, just to let them know that we're here and we're thinking of them. And hopefully they'll stay safe, and hopefully we'll get a good dump of rain. Just because the Weather Bureau says it's going to be really hot on the weekend doesn't mean it can't change and we can't get a good dump of rain. That would be just the best blessing. Anyway, then Kerry, I hope your family is safe. Yeah, we have family through Gippsland too. And and as we were there, we were away early December and we came home because of fires. So anyway, it's a pretty horrible time for those people, and my heart aches for them because it would be scary. I know it's scary, and I just want everyone to be safe. And as I spoke to another friend who had to evacuate her home, and I was like, you know what? You love your home, but it's just a house. The family's more important. You know, if your life and your family's lives are more important, you can't replace those. And yes, it takes a long time to replace a home that's been lost, but you can do it. It can be replaced. You can't ever replace a family member. So, and even when we were rural, we lived in the country, and I would hear the sirens go, because in those days you could hear the sirens for the CFS would go, and I just shudder and shake. I hated that noise. I hated that sound, and I hated the fact that it would mean that within a few minutes Wayne will come racing in the door and say, you have to go. Hated it. Anyway. Oh dear. Well, Kerry, Hannah was supposed to go to Yarrawonga on Sunday for her holidays. They were camping up there on a friend's property, and she said she didn't want to go. She'd changed her mind. She didn't want to go. And then the friends she were going with said, well, you know, it's going to be too hot and horrible anyway. And then the people they were going to stay with said, just don't come. Please don't come. It's just, you know, if we have you here, it's more stress and strain. And so she's home floating around, and they're all doing different things for their holidays now. And I actually said that I was rather glad she decided not to go. I'd rather keep her home safe than know that she was up there with the potential for disaster. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Alrighty, folks. So I've already set up a little schedule of You should see this ginormous big wall calendar that we got a few weeks ago, so that I can see it. Right. So, and we've started writing down topics and conversations and things that we can have through the year on the show to keep it going, because you know what? I need to know. I need to be able to plan ahead. And so if there's anything that you would particularly like to talk about or hear me waffle on about, let me know. I was going to do my once a year shopping and my stockpile restock for you, but because of the spider bite, I didn't actually get my once a year shopping done this last week like I would normally do, because I normally do it between Christmas and New Year. So because I was hobbling and not able to get a shoe on and it was a bit of a pain, I didn't actually get it done. So I will hopefully be doing that next week, in which case then I will be able to go through that with you, which will be, I don't know, you might find it thoroughly boring. You'll see, I don't know, you'll just see where we put stuff and how it all works for the year. And it's not a lot really, in terms of, it's a lot of ingredients but not a lot of bought product, if that makes sense, because we cook from scratch and we use mostly fresh foods. There's not a lot of packaged things, so it all fits neatly in the house. And then I did the toiletries on Boxing Day. Actually, I went through both bathroom cupboards and did the toiletry stock list and whatever, and there was only a few things that needed to be topped up on those, so they were done, and enough to fit in both bathroom cupboards, so they don't take up a great deal of space. In saying that, we're pretty basic in that we use, you know, toothpaste, mouthwash, toothbrushes. Toothbrushes are on sale this week at Aldi too, guys. I think they were 6 for $1.99, and they're actually quite good toothbrushes. Sort of between a Colgate and an Oral-B toothbrush. They're actually quite nice. And 6 for $1.99 is a fantastic price when you consider some toothbrushes are $5 each. So just thought I'd throw that in there. What else? Something else. Toothbrushes, that sort of thing. Shampoo, conditioner, hairspray. I have basic makeup. I don't do anything fancy with my makeup, as you can see. So there wasn't a great deal to add to the toiletries. And yeah, the shelves were looking pretty bare, and they're sort of tidied up a bit, and they still look a bit bare. So when I get the shopping done and restocked, I'll go through that with you and show you the once a year shopping and how it's done and where I store it all. But otherwise, yeah. How I do it? Okay, Paula, yeah. I really need new glasses, guys. My canning expertise. Don't know that I'm an expert, but I'm having fun practicing. Yeah, all right. Okay, so we can do that. Let me write these down. So stockpiling and the canning. I have to say, folks, that I have coming in the post was a late Christmas gift. The jar attachment for my food saver. So you know I love my food saver vacuum sealer, and I've been a bit conscious probably the last 6 months, really conscious of just how much money we have in our freezers, because we have the two big chest freezers, the small upright, and then the freezer over the fridge. And there's quite a lot of money in those freezers in terms of meat, you know, the beef, the lamb, the chicken, the vegetables, the fruits, the pastries and things that are in those, so that if we did have any sort of long-term power outages, while we will be able to survive for a short time on what we've got. That's a lot of money that could be lost. And then, of course, when I had the scare when the plumber turned the power off to the outside freezer, and I had to do all that cooking, so that had me thinking that I really need to do more canning. And now I have the pressure canner, I can do that. So then I was thinking about the dry goods that I freeze, because I freeze quite a lot of the dry stuff too. And then I did some research, and the Food Saver had this attachment that goes over the top of the preserving jars, over the mason jar, and vacuum seals it. So all my lentils, the beans, things like that, I will be able to vacuum seal in the jars, and that will make them shelf stable. And if I do that, they're actually shelf stable for up to 30 years. Now, I can assure you they're not going to last 30 years in our house. We will go through it much faster than 30 years. But it's kind of reassuring to know that I don't have to rely on all those things to be in the freezer. So I'm going to be switching this year more to the pressure canning for preserving and making things shelf stable, and using the freezers more as a backup for the things that we will go through really quickly, that perhaps aren't so valuable a commodity as meat is at the moment. See how we go. And that is one of the topics that I have, and I think I've booked it in for next week, is foods that last just about forever, foods that are shelf stable for just about forever, so that you can buy them in quantity safely, knowing that they will stay edible and fresh on your shelf for a very long time. So there's quite a list of them. There's about 30 different things that I was able to come up with just from what I use that are shelf stable, that don't need any particularly fancy storage. They don't need to go into mylar. They don't need oxygen absorbers or anything like that. So I have a show planned around that too. Oh, good. Oh, Meryl, I will tell Hannah about the flavoured salt. She'll be thrilled. They're really good. She made another batch of the Cabernet salt just before Christmas. So that was good. I have the hose attachment, Kerry. No, I have the hose attachment. If you are looking, Kerry, there's Aussie in Carrum Downs, Aussie preserving jars or something, or Aussie preserving jars, Aussie canning jars, something like that. They're in Carrum Downs. They sell them, and they're actually cheaper than Amazon if you are looking for food saver attachments and things. Yeah. Sorry. Decluttering. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that gives me something to canning, preserving and canning. Okay. There's difference. We get a bit, I'm happy to talk about preserving and canning because I've been bottling fruit and veg for yonks since I was little tiny girl, because my mum always did it, and I always helped mum do it. So the old Fowler's Vicola bottling outfit, and I have 3 of them now, just because they just happen to come my way, is an amazing household appliance that can save you so much money for so many things. But that's different to actually canning. What Americans call canning is actually pressure canning, and it's not in cans, it's in glass jars. So I don't know why they call it canning, but it's in glass jars. But if you have a pressure canner, you can actually do meats and poultry and low acid foods, which is the advantage of being able to pressure can. Now, Kerry does a lot of pressure canning, I know, because we've talked about it a few times. She does all sorts of really good stuff too. So if you watch on Cheapskate's Chatter page, Kerry will often pop up. She'll say, oh, she had leftover whatever, so she's canned it. And there it is. She's brilliant with the canning. Maureen, dehydrating is really easy. Folks, oh gosh, Aldi had the best little dehydrator special buy last week for about $40, $39.99. Really, seriously, folks, you don't need an expensive. Some of those big dehydrators that you see online are really expensive. They're hundreds of dollars. You don't need that. My dehydrator is an Aldi one. I've had it for about 10, 12 years. It cost about $60, $70 when I bought it. It's still going strong. It's only 3 trays, which bothers me because sometimes I'd like to do it, like it to be a bit bigger, but it works really well. And for things like I dry mushrooms, little hint, if you're drying mushrooms, do them outside, because boy, do they smell bad. The whole house will just stink. So do them outside. I run the cord onto the veranda and put them on the veranda when I'm doing mushrooms, carrots, onions, tomatoes, zucchini, eggplant. I've tried sweet potato, pumpkin. What else have I put through? Celery and celery leaves, herbs. A while back, Joy gave me this huge big bag of beautiful rosemary. The house smelled beautiful for weeks. Great big huge shopping bag full of fresh rosemary. So some of it I put in oil, so I have rosemary infused oil, but the rest of it I dried, and I put it through I hung some and put the rest through the dehydrator, and as I was drying it, I'd take it down and put it through. It took me 3 or 4 days of constantly to get this bag dried, but we've got so much rosemary now, and it's just wonderful. So you can do your herbs. Now, at the moment in my herb patch, I've got parsley, I have chives, I have thyme that I'm waiting to pick. So they will all be going through the dehydrator. Dehydrating is really easy. Don't be afraid of it. Wash your fruit, dry your fruit. As long as it's reasonably even sizes. So if you have a mandolin, use that for your slices so they're roughly the same thickness. So if you're doing carrot slices or zucchini slices or tomato slices, onion slices, whatever, just run them through the mandolin so they're pretty much the same thickness. Lay them out on your trays, lay them up, turn it on, set the timer and let it go. It's pretty hard to over dry most things, and in fact some things take a longer time to dry because they're more watery. So mushrooms take an unbelievable amount of time to actually dry. Tomatoes, if you want to make them really dry so that you can powder them, crush them into a powder, they take a while too, again because they're more water-based. But it's really easy to do. Now, dehydrators are actually quite economical to run. They don't cost very much at all, only probably about 25 cents, 30 cents an hour or something. So from a power point of view, they're actually quite a cheap way of preserving your foods too. And of course, then once the stuff's dry, it's shelf stable. So you can store it in an airtight container or you can vacuum seal it and it will stay fresh for a long time. Yeah. Capsicum, leek, carrots, yep. I used to do fruit leathers when the kids were little with the pureed whatever I could get. So it might be a mixture of strawberries, peaches and nectarines if that's what I had. I'd just whiz it, puree it and then spread it on the sheet and put it through the dehydrator and then cut it into strips and roll them up. And they were Mum's roll-ups as opposed to Uncle Toby's. My roll-ups cost virtually nothing as opposed to Uncle Toby's. And they didn't have added anything as opposed to Uncle Toby's. So they actually were quite nice. Banana, that's the other thing I've dried. Banana chips. We went through a craze a while back where all of us just loved munching on banana chips. And it might have helped that I dipped them in half in chocolate. So something different to do. They're really nice. But dried banana is really good too. Yes, the skins are really good. Night barb. Yeah, so there you go. So dehydrating for Maureen, decluttering for Paula. Where I organise the stockpile is for Paula, I think, isn't it? Yep. So, yeah. All right. Okay, guys. Well, oh my gosh. Sorry, folks. I didn't mean to waffle on so long. It's 8:43. Oh. See, if Hannah was here, she'd be going, and I'd see that out of the corner of my eye, or she'd be going, and I'd see that out of the corner of my eye. Then I get the out of the corner of my eye. So she's not here, so I haven't seen that. Okay, guys. Looks like we've got a troll. Alrighty, I shall go. I'll see you on Tuesday night, same time. Have a lovely weekend. Stay safe, everybody, please. If you've got any questions, of course, pop them in the comments below. I'd love a thumbs up from you. That would be really good. If you know of someone who might like to join us on a Tuesday or a Thursday or subscribe to the show, that would be wonderful. The more subscribers we get, the better the show will be. Trust me. Anyway, I'll go. Have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for joining me. Stay safe, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.